The Montreal Alouettes are 2.5-point home favorites over the Toronto Argonauts in the East Final on Saturday afternoon. Montreal won the first meeting between the two teams earlier this season, but the Argonauts won the last two, the second of which saw Chad Kelly start under center. The Alouettes won the only two of their last 7 regular season games, while Montreal has won 4 of 5, including last week's decisive win over the Ottawa Redblacks in the East semifinal. Star receiver Austin Mack is a game-time decision for the Alouettes, while Canadian linebacker Fraser Sopik will return for the Argos, and DeMonte Coxey is also a game-time decision after missing the East semi due to a knee injury. JC, what is your take on this one?
Look, I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Toronto Argonauts are going to roll in this game because of everything I've seen from them lately and everything I've seen from the Montreal Alouettes lately. I don't want to discredit anything that Montreal team accomplished early in the season, but this is not the same unit that they were when they were going off at the beginning of the year, right? Tyson Philpott has been hurt for a long time now. Keon Julian Grant has been hurt for a long time now. Austin Mack, we don't know if he's going to be at full strength for this game. That offense just doesn't scare me right now. And that defense, which kept them together so much last year and allowed them to win those close games, just hasn't been as good as it once was. The pass rush isn't there. Mustafa Johnson is still hurt at defensive tackle, which I think is a huge blow. And right now they're being forced to blitz in order to generate any semblance of pressure. And the last few teams they've faced have absolutely destroyed them that way. I think the Toronto Argonauts, with their big play capabilities, are perfectly set up to be able to exploit those weaknesses in the Alouettes. Chad Kelly has looked phenomenal. He looks fired up for the playoffs. He was damn near perfect last week, had a perfect passer rating. And I think with him throwing at guys like Makai Polk over the top, the Montreal Alouettes are going to be in for a long East Final, just like the Argos were in for a long East Final last year when these roles were reversed.
I agree with you on all of that, JC. I think Montreal's defense is still one of the league's better units, but I do think that the shine has come off them a little bit as the season has progressed. Some of that is injury related, some of that is suspension related, of course. Sean Lemon, I think, has been a missing ingredient off the edge for them. On the other side of the ball, I just do not have a lot of faith in this Montreal Alouettes offense. Yes, Walter Fletcher has been great as a receiver out of the backfield. There's things to like about, some of the big plays they've gotten from Charleston Rambo, but I think they badly missed Tyson Philpott. They haven't really replaced him. Austin Mack, when he's been healthy, has not been the same player he was in 2023 as he, has been on the field in 2024. I think that this team doesn't run the ball well. And we just saw what the Toronto Argonauts did to an offense that doesn't run the ball well, but I think, frankly, is much better through the air. I think the Red Blacks have better targets than the Alouettes do. I think Drew Brown is a better passer than Cody Fajardo is. Cody Fajardo gives you a little more juice as a runner, but he hasn't thrown for over 250 yards in a game since week 12. And since then, he has had 6 touchdown passes, only 3 picks. Like, he is not pushing the ball downfield with a lot of authority. And let's not forget that the last time these two teams played in the playoffs, last year's shocking East Final, the Alouettes had less than 200 yards of offense. Less than not 300. That's the benchmark for a decent game. Less than 200 yards of offense as their defense clamped down Chad Kelly 4 picks. Guess what? We're not going to see Chad Kelly throw 4 interceptions again. He was unbelievable. Love him or hate him, lights out in the East semifinal. 2 completions, 5 total touchdowns. When you've got more than twice as many touchdowns as incompletions, you've had a good game. So I don't think this game is going to be particularly close. I think these teams are closely matched on special teams, but I'd still have to give a slight edge to the Argos. Liram Hajrullahu, I'm taking him over Jose Maltos, and James Letcher Jr., one of the best returners in the league, but you're not passing up on anybody for Janarian Grant, who has been, I think, the best special teams player in the league this season. I'm more than happy to take the Argos win this game, and I'm more than happy to get a couple points doing so.
Yeah, the only formula that the Alouettes have for winning this game, in my mind, is the same formula they used last year. They need to somehow force turnovers from Chad Kelly, and they need to not make any mistakes on offense. It's going to require a perfect game from Cody Fajardo and the rest of that unit, not turning the ball over, not making any major errors in order to put them in position that if they can get that big play on defense, they can maybe squeak this one out.
I also don't think that we should discount the possibility of a shocking, game-changing gust of wind happening, because that did happen in the most recent game played at Percival Molson Stadium. But regardless, I agree with you, JC. I think the Alouettes have to play a very clean game. I think Cody Fajardo does, not every single down, not every second down, whatever, but he has to show he can push the ball down the field with at least some level of consistency. He's got to hit Charleston Rambo. He's got to hit Cole Speaker. He's got to find some of these guys. Are they the most explosive group of receivers in the CFL? No, but they have all picked their moments. This is the time they've got to pick it up. And it could be off a flea flicker, right? We've seen Cody Fajardo throw touchdowns off flea flickers this year. It can be trick stuff. It could be pulling things out of the bag. This team has, of course, had an extra week to prepare for this game coming off a bye while Toronto was playing the East semifinal. So even if you have to resort to the back end of the playbook, do it. But I agree. The Alouettes here should be the underdog despite playing at home. I think the Toronto Argonauts are the best team in the CFL right now. I think they have been for the last few months. I'm happy to take them. Happy to take the points.